Hello, this is Vince from We're Airstream of Chandler, Arizona. I want to walk through briefly this 2025 Basecamp 16X. We'll start with the front. Obviously, you have where you're going to hook up to your tow vehicle. The tongue will come down on the ball. You have this locking feature here that locks into place. You always want to make sure you get some kind of pin or lock so this locks in, so this won't come up while you're driving. You have your breakaway, emergency brake. If this gets activated, it goes through your chains. If it gets activated, that would set off your trailer brakes if something catastrophic happened. You have your chains that connect to your tow vehicle. And then you have an electric jack here. It goes up and down. You have a light. With this electric jack, you do have a level. It's mainly front and back. But the key component here is if this jack failed on you, you would just turn this, lift that out, and there is a tool that goes inside here that it comes with the trailer, and you would manually bring it up or down. Then on the front portion here, as you move down here, you have a propane extension here. This would be, you get yourself a 10, 20, 30 foot propane extension cord. It's a low flow for cooking. If you want to use the propane on board to run a cooktop or a fire pit, you could do that. And then as you come around here, you have a solar port here for external solar. Double checking something. Then you have some space here. This tool is used to manually bring down your stabilizer jacks that this trailer comes with. And then this just lifts out, and you would have your propane tanks in here. You get 2 propane tanks, and you have a regulator. And you just dial the regulator on which side of the propane tank that you want to use. In the dial, it will turn, it's green when you're full, and it'll start to turn red when you run out of propane. So you would just turn one tank off and then turn on the other tank. As we move around this side, you have some storage here for some small items. I would recommend getting yourself a banana clip or something and put that in here just so these don't pop up while you're driving. As all Airstreams have, your tire PSI recommendations for the tires. In here you have a outside shower. You have a hot and cold and a shower that connects, the cord connects so you can wash things off out here. Being a 16 foot base camp, this just has one combined gray and black tank. So if you were to empty the tanks, you would hook up your sewer hose here. You do have a light underneath here. And then you would just pull this lever here, and that would drain both gray and black. This is just an exhaust port for your furnace, and this is an exhaust port for your water heater. On this side, we also have a 30 amp power cord. It's a smart plug. You just squeeze that and pull it right out. And then to put it in, you just tuck that in. This is the fill for your fresh water that you want to have on board. So if you're boondocking or traveling and you want some water on board, you would fill that up with obviously a potable water hose. If you were to go to an RV park or have water available to you, you could hook up city water to this. This has a built-in regulator as well. Once you hook up to a water source and turn it on, you have endless water inside the coach. So we come around here, you have a back door, entry and exit. You do have a latch here, so you can lock this in. I just would caution customers to be careful. If it's latched and the wind is blowing and it's moving, or someone doesn't know it's latched and grabs it, you don't want the force to pull these screws out. It would take a lot, but just be cautious of that. You have a door lock here for the back door, and then obviously you have some shades for the window. So we come around the back, you have some cigarette lighter plugs, USBs in here for connections. You have an outside 110 outlet here. And then you have your Airstream steps. These are a little different than the traditional steps. These just lift up and they just lock in. And then to bring them out, you just bring them down. Here we have a deadbolt lock. So this lever, but I caution people that when you, if someone, children, grandchildren, maybe are playing with this, or someone starts pushing this out, if this stays out and you close the door, it will bend this or cause damage. So I recommend you paint this red with red paint or fingernail polish. So if it's out, it's going to alert you that it's out. Then we'll go inside and cover some of the items of the 16X Basecamp. So these are all your light switches. Inside lights, front and rear. It's got a step light. That's how you control your lights. You have some storage down here. You also have a lockable compartment here. You can put valuables in here. There's a USB port, and then your trailer keys will lock this. As we're at the front of the trailer, we have a microwave, more storage. You have a cooktop, which is propane. To activate your 2-burner stove, you would just push this in, turn this knob towards the flame, and then you have an igniter. And you do that for both of those. You also have 2 electrical towers here. You have a 12-volt fridge, all electric, very quiet, runs very efficiently. It also can run while you're driving down the road with your 7-way plug plugged into your tow vehicle. And then you always want to make sure you lock this for traveling purposes. Down here we have your battery disconnect to the trailer. So if you go into storage and you want to shut all power down, you would turn this knob here. That would cut all the power and you wouldn't have any parasitic draw, which is what you want, because sometimes like carbon monoxide detectors could have a parasitic draw if you just were in storage. So now that doesn't shut down your solar. The solar still works if you're outside and getting sun, and it'll keep your batteries charged. And then this is for tank heaters down below. In very cold weather, it's like a heater blanket that helps with the tanks. This is your furnace duct for your actual furnace, propane furnace. We come around here, this is a wet bath, all in one. You have your toilet, your shower. You have a vent here. You push the vent up. There's a black button. You can vent. This is a porcelain toilet with a pump to fill and drain the tank. As we come around the back, so this is a lounge area, or it turns into your sleeping surface. Below it, you have your breakers and your fuses in here, and they're all marked. You have your air conditioner up here. This works as an air conditioner. A fan just brings in, circulates a vent fan, and then also has some warm air. They call it heat, but you turn the knob towards the red. It brings warmer air into the trailer, but it's not using your propane, so it's not a furnace per se. It's for weather that maybe isn't really, really cold. And then as you come over here, this is kind of the master control center. This is for your solar. If we were outside, it would show if you're bringing in any sunlight, what your solar panels are doing. This is the main control center for your batteries to tell you if your batteries are fully charged. Also tells you your tank levels. So this would be your freshwater tank, water on board when you're traveling, and it's in percents, not gallons, but percents. And then this is black tank. It's really your black and gray shower and toilet, and it'll tell you in percent what the tank is. And then you have a water pump here. That water pump is for when you are boondocking or not hooked up to city water. You turn that on and you can run all the water in the coach. If you're hooked up to an RV park or city water, you wouldn't need to turn on the water pump. This is for your furnace heater only. So to turn that on, you would move this over the dial and set it for the temperature, and then your actual propane furnace would kick on. Turn it off, you move that all the way over, and this is for your water heater. All you need to do is you hit the button, turn it on. You can set the water temperature for whatever desired temperature you want. When it stops flashing, it'll start heating. They say it's on demand, but I still would give yourself 10 to 15 minutes for the water to heat up. And then to turn it off when you're not using it, you just hit the button off. And then you have shades. You have windows here that zip in, and then these come out here if you want to open the side windows slightly. But with the screens in, the blackout shades, it's pitch black in here. And lastly, to make this into a bed, these come up and come off on both sides. These will unscrew. You have smaller ones that are underneath the cushions in here. They will screw in, and then the table snaps into the smaller holes. And then on each side, these fold over. One on each side, laying on top of this. And that, then you bring your cushions in, and you have a bed that comes to about here. If you want to extend that, you have two more boards up here that are stored, and they will lay in between here in this groove, making this a full, almost king-size bed. So lots of versatility, or leave this open if you put a kayak or bikes or whatnot in here. So, thank you for visiting us. If you have any other needs, please see us at We're Airstream of Chandler.